Well, I'm also highlighting in Risk and Rise resources for entrepreneurs, for startups, because the whole point of the show is to encourage more people to start something, whether it's a business or to start writing their book and publish it or get out there. And so
Yeah.
from my knowledge of Bob Shop, having been involved in, the really, really early days, but always just watching it. And I actually use it. I sell some of my art on there.
Hmm.
But I wanted you to just ask you like how you see Bob Shop, or if you can maybe explain a bit about how it, just briefly, how it moved from Bitterby to Bob Shop.
Yeah.
But also I know there's some, like, I call them sister organizations. There's Bob Go and all this. But
Yeah.
explain the shift, but also how entrepreneurs could use it, because it's a very useful resource. I have
Yeah.
my ideas that I always tell people about, but yeah.
Yeah. So I actually think that that transition from Lubbe to Bob Shop or to Bob Group as a company, that is actually a very important point. I'm trying to remember the year now, but at some point I remember, we were trying all the things that we could do within our power to improve this platform, and it just didn't feel like enough. The shareholders that we've had have been incredibly supportive, and so there was no massive pressure to necessarily change anything immediately. They were incredibly supportive. If we needed to raise funds, they were there. But we had this growing sense that we just weren't making the progress that we needed to. There's so much competition, particularly in the marketplace space now in South Africa. And at some point there was a conversation between Andy, the shareholders, and myself as well, where we realized, wow, we've got this wonderful company called Africa who does shipping, and they do order fulfillment, and they aggregate courier providers to enable merchants to ship things from A to B. We've got this marketplace, got lots of customers, but we've got no shipping, and it was like a no-brainer actually. And so by the time Andy came, and I think he was very very caring and respectful, because this is quite a big change for me at that point, is that you're not going to be the CEO of this company anymore. Your responsibilities are not actually changing, but you're not going to be the same. It's not the same company anymore. And but when we spoke about it, it just made so much sense, and so the shipping that I spoke about now is actually a result of this little buy company merging and with this Africa becoming Bob Group, and now we can offer better shipping services to our sellers. And so, yeah, I think just to get back onto point is that if anyone wants to sell products in the online space, I think there's a few ways you can go about it. You can use your local WhatsApp group. You can use Facebook. You could you could start your own website, and they all have pros and cons. There's security issues with some, or you can also make use of a marketplace. And now that's one of that's where we come into play. And the reason why I think it's a really, really good option, and it doesn't have to be your only option, is that you just need a product, and you need to be able to describe it, and you can list it for sale. And so you've got a seller page that you can refer people to. You can send links directly to the platform. We will handle the payments. We will handle the shipping. So we've integrated with all these providers so that you don't have to do all that. If you get to the point where you're a little bit more serious, you may have a website even, and you want to use a marketplace as an additional channel. We've also worked on ways to help integrate, make sure your inventory stays in sync, so that if you sell something on your site, it doesn't double list the product, on the marketplace. And so we have this area where we can then sync products from your website onto our platform as well. And so it's a lovely way to get exposure to more customers, because we do generate a lot of traffic, so that you can sell to your customers, but you can also sell to the customers that come to the marketplace. And so the real nice thing about it is that there is zero cost, upfront cost. And so it's only when you actually make that successful sale that we take a commission. We call it a success fee. And so we've managed your payment. We will help you ship the item. We'll charge you some fees for it, and you send the product off. And so it's a lovely way to do some business, get exposure to additional customers. And so we have a dedicated team who help onboard new people, particularly if you have a website. If you have a website, you can go to bobshop.co.za/sell, and we have all the information there. But we also have a team who run regular, we call them meetups. And so if you look in our footer on our website, there's a link, and if there are any meetups coming up, you can sign up, and you can then have a slightly more intimate online session where you can learn a little bit about selling on the platform. But then, of course, Bob Group is bigger than just Bob Shop, and that's always my favorite bit to talk about Bob Shop. But our more recent success, I would say, and reason for some of our successes is because of Bob Go, the old uafrica.com. And Bob Go is the service that can help aggregate couriers. So I've got a parcel that I need to ship from, let's say, Johannesburg to Cape Town. Bob Go service will then get quotes from all the different couriers based on the addresses that you put in, and present them to you as a merchant. And you can select the one that you want. You go for the fastest one, the cheapest one, etc. And it really does, it's really a superpower as an online seller or merchant to be able to have this flexibility. And so if you have your own website, head over to Bob Go. Sign up as a free trial. There's even a free tier, so you don't have to have upfront costs, and then you just pay for shipments. We then also have Bob Pay, which is a service to help facilitate payments on your website. And one of the more exciting newer projects is Bob Box, where we are trying to roll out lockers across the country. And so instead of getting your parcel delivered to a customer's door, they can get it delivered to a Bob Box locker location near them. So perhaps it's on the way to work or the way home. You type in a PIN and this magic door opens, and there's your product. It's really a cool experience. It's so much fun to retrieve a parcel. And then last but not least, we also have a service called ShipLogic. So if you have a courier, you can sign up to use that software and run your business, including accounting, driver apps, etc. And so I think the bit that's really exciting for me is that we are now encompassing everything e-commerce, whereas before I would just be talking about the marketplace, and this is what you can do. But sometimes the marketplace might not be for you. It might be for, you might want to run your own website, but you need shipping or you need payments. And so I really believe we can offer something that's suitable for more people. And that for me is really exciting. I think the bit that kind of gets me out of bed every morning is the fact that we are doing work here that is really beneficial, not only for us, but for the people that use the platforms. I think that's just so cool and honorable that you can actually make a difference in other people's lives as well at the same time.
Yeah, and it really has become this whole e-commerce online system. I don't know.
Yes.
All these different aspects. So
yeah,
it's very exciting to see it evolve into Bob Group.
Absolutely.
And just then to highlight the point for startups, because I'm really excited about that. I want to help people overcome that fear of failure of starting. Mm-hmm. But you do not need any money to have an online presence if you've got, especially with a product. You list your product on Bob Shop, and your seller's page becomes your website or your catalog. So on your business card, you can, your footer of your email, you can put your seller's page as your website. And then as you grow, as you said, you add on a Shopify store or WooCommerce or whatever it is, which integrates fully with all of these systems. Yeah. So yes, there's no excuse say you don't have money for a website
Yes,
anymore.
and even, like I need to ship something, you can sign up. You don't have to fill out massive forms with multiple couriers. You can just sign up and send a test shipment, give it a shot. There's just, I think the nice thing is that there's just this really low barrier, or no
Yes.
barrier actually, to kind of getting started. You need an internet connection and you need something to sell, and that can be a start, and you can grow
You can
from
get
there.
going.
It really can be a start, and it can also be a boost, an additional channel to what you already have. So yeah, we love what we do.
No, absolutely. So if people want to find out more about that, it's just bobshop.co.za. That the
Yes,
right place?
for the marketplace, Bob Go for shipping, Bob Pay for payments, and Bob Box for the lockers. So yeah, and if you can't remember all that, go to bob.co.za, and we have links to all the other services that we offer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
please
you
do
just
it.
yeah, you just reminded me there, just a point to highlight for those startup people. It's a great way to also accept credit card payments without a credit card machine is to use Bob Pay. If you're
Yeah, yeah,
using your payment system through Bob Group, you don't have
yeah.
to go and get a little credit card machine or anything. You can accept credit cards online right now, and then you just pay the commission per sale.
Yeah,
There's no upfront costs.
even on the, just to highlight on the marketplace, is that we have pretty much every major payment method integrated with the platform. So if it needs to be Zapper, or I need a scan to pay, or it's an EFT or credit card, it's all done, and you don't have to worry about that at all. And I think that's one of the scary bits, is signing up for all these services, integrating it with your platform and website, etc. And so yeah, use the work that's been done for you to start, and then go from there.
Great. How can people get hold of you if they want to ask you
Probably
more or
best
get?
probably best to search for me on LinkedIn. I think that's probably the best place.
Okay.
Craig Lubbe is my name, and yeah, just search for me on LinkedIn, and or reach out to me on one of the Bob Shop selling communities, and we can definitely get chatting.
Great. I'll have the link in the show notes for what we've spoken about. Find out more at riskandrise.co.za.